Hi friend, thank you for being here. You know, it's been a little bit since I've given an update or making any videos. I've been taking time off. Had just have to have space and recalibrating energies, and as we move into this more of the powerful shift that we came here for. Each one of us came here for this, and depending on where you're at with your consciousness, most of the people that are on my channel, I have like maybe 140 of you, and that have been following me for several years now. And some of you have read my books. I wrote a book in 19 called Soul Ship, and a personal account of embodied enlightenment, and that is a multidimensional book on what occurred to me, that's happening to all of humanity, is that we're coming home to ourselves and our true knowing of who we are at a multidimensional level, and walking this earth walk in a balanced way of connection to our higher selves, our soul. And we came here for this. So the book that I wrote back in 19, and say back in 19, everything's happening now. So I referred to time and space. We talk paradoxes. I can't help it. As we speak, right? It is a paradox. But anyway, I'm not going to dance my words too much here. A lot has shifted since 19, and where this video is on this platform called YouTube, it has grown immensely since then. People coming out, all sorts of ways to come out of who they are and express themselves in their spirituality and their knowing and everything. It's gotten really big. So I stepped back. Usually when there's a lot of people doing something, I kind of go the other way. I need my energetic space. So that's why I've taken a little bit of a hiatus, I like to say, in the past year or so. But I wanted to give an update and a message, I'd say a very important message, coming up on the following months that we're moving into, to the end of this year, into the next. Because in my book, if you have written that, if you haven't written it, if you've read that, and you know about what I talk about, to give my personal account what happened to me, you know, my story, right? And then I speak about the earth changes as well in that book. And in it, I talk about 2025 will be the marker, and we're going to start seeing a lot of earth changes. And so here we are, folks. So that's why it's important for me to give this video right now. So there's, you know, as you're experiencing, you cannot not be alive right now and not experience like the weather changes, the patterns of changing. Even weather people, given the weather reports, they're going out of their minds. But they're also going back to like the old patterns of things. Like they speak of La Nina and El Nino and whatever those terminologies of the old patterns of the way things are. But everything's shifting, even astrology. When I listen to astrologers now, in my mind, because of my knowing, I know what's happening. I mean, this is the biggest shift we've ever been in. We have many cycles, billions of years of cycles ending, and a brand new start of everything's has been reset. Back in 2012, 13 was year 0. So, you know, we are here 12 years later, and technically it's year 11. You know, so as the reset began, 13 was 0, and 14 1, 15 2, and here we are in year 11 going on to year 12. We still look at the same calendar and the clock on the wall to tell us the time, and the clock really should say now, every hour now, every minute now. The calendars, right? Even that, the reset, we'd say, oh, it's year 11, you know, we're going to count the years from year 0 to now. Even that is not speaking of the present moment. It's still a count. But go with me here. And I know if you're listening to this again, the people who have been following me or have been listening to what I've been saying, you guys have been going through the same thing. I'm not speaking to people who are just now coming into their knowing of who they really are at a multidimensional level. You guys have been doing it alongside me. So there might be one or two, or maybe a couple handful of people that are perhaps, and very cool, you know. I may speak of some things that you might need more clarification about. And please reach out to me. The information's in the description of this video, so my website has a contact form. And I do encourage you guys to contact me, even just to say hi. But if you need assistance too, I'm a teacher, and there's many teachers, and there's many people who can guide you along during the shift. And I stopped advertising. I stopped putting stuff into social media. Every now and then I'll say something, but for the most part I stopped for a reason. And the reason being is because we're in it. We're in the shift. We've entered the age of Aquarius. And so we are on the cusp of just kind of like teetering. We're in it, we're not in it. We're in it, we're not in it. Depending on where you are as an individual, but we're fully in it. And you can catch the wave. And that's why I'm giving this message here. That I'm still here for guidance. I'm still here giving sessions. I'm picky about who I have come to me. My clientele has changed over the years too, because I don't like feeders. I don't like people who make a living or a career out of going to a healer. I don't consider myself a healer. I'm merely just guiding you along the path, because it takes a little of this and a little of that to have that connection to your soul, to your inner being. So I'm just here as a guide, and someone that can bring you into your journeying in your multidimensionality, and that's what I do. That's what I do best. Psychic surgeries, whatever you need for the integration of your physical body, because it's a painful shift too. The symptoms are like A to Z. There's so many of them, and they're popping up. So there's a whole bunch of people. I mean, the masses, they don't really know what's going on, but they're starting to get curious, and that's what the big message of this video is all about too. There's heightened global events happening. It's a population explosion, because it's a population expansion, I like to say. Things are expanding, and that's why there's more people in the world. The population is kept in check by the spirit world. It's not like, we are extension of source. It's not like there's a problem here. We're coming out of being run by religious beliefs, spiritual beliefs, and scientific beliefs mainly about what is happening and who we are. And so this is like a big shift. There's not one way of seeing it, not one way of moving through it. That's why there's a whole bunch of us, and there's a lot of teachers out there now, and they're really coming out and giving their messages and being available to the masses, because it's starting to happen, because people are starting to be curious. So I knew it was going to happen. I sat by and moved through the years after I published that book in 19, and I did another one, Walking the Path of Least Resistance, about that you are creating your reality by how you think and feel. We teeter between dimensions. We are a third dimensional being, physical being, a manifestation from our higher selves here in the physical life, and we are having this physical experience. But humanity as a whole has been walking around, and this is evolution, in just a very limited 3D manner, thinking that you are your body, your name, your biology, and everything. And maybe there's a God, maybe there's something else, maybe there's higher forces at play that's governing everything from behind the scenes. So this is the part of the Grand Awakening. And we are always, and we always have been, teetering between third dimension, fourth dimension, and fifth dimensional consciousness. It's just that mostly our attention, and it's the second attention, is of the physical. The first attention is knowing that you are a spiritual being having a physical experience. You created yourself in the spirit world first, and then here is the second representation here. The physical world is the secondary. Everything out in nature, and it's known in shamanism, is alive. It has spirit, it has consciousness. And so that's animism. Everything has a counterpart in the spirit world first, and then it's created here as a physical representation. This is the Grand Awakening that people are going through. Most people walk around, and that's like kind of like the zombie apocalypse, kind of walking around just as physical bodies, not having any depth. being hollow inside, if you will, of not knowing that we are an eternal being, that there's more to us than this body, and this name that we have, the biology, the family, the friends, everything, our jobs, everything. And so the fourth dimension is the mind, and we create there with our thoughts, and then that charges an emotion. So what we feel, what we think, we feel, and then we draw it to us. That's electromagnetic. That's magnetism. So we live in creation's magnetism. So we create through our thoughts. That's fourth dimensional, and then we feel it in our bodies. So we're constantly doing that. We've been doing that ever since. That's how we got here. So we're a thought first, and then we come out physically. The fifth dimensional consciousness is what I was talking about journeying. You can close your eyes or not, you don't even have to. Then you can journey into what is considered the multiverse. And it's all of creation, because most of creation is non-physical. We just happen to be here at this most auspicious time to have this physical experience during the biggest expansion that we've ever been through, and that is the awakening that we are eternal beings, and we're having a physical experience, and at some point you will leave this physical body. There's no such thing as death, and you will get rushed up into all positive energy and be that happy little Buddha again. But you can do it here, and that's embodied enlightenment. You can do it while you're still in the body. You don't have to wait to die and what beliefs are known as heaven, and then you'll be happy Buddha. You can do it in the physical body. Now, with that being said, there is contrast. There is stuff that is making us ask for more. That's how we expand creation, is through the things that we don't like. It's just going to happen. And it's a moment-to-moment calibration. That's integration. So once you wake up to all of who you are, then there's a period of integrating that. And it takes a year, 2 years, 3 years, however long it takes for the individual to move through it, being sensitive and vulnerable at first, but then having that trusting and faith, then moving beyond that and having a knowing. That's the integration. The knowing that you are that non-physical part too. That you are the big shebang, that you created everything. So we're stepping into this multidimensionality, and the whole world's being shaken apart. So the weather changes, it's all part of our consciousness. We can change the weather. We can manipulate things through, because we are creator gods. We created ourselves to come here physically. We're all source beings. And so we can say this population explosion, it's an expansion because creation expanded. So source is just really excited to express itself in so many different variations, and here we are. Now, for the individual to get used to that, when I was born in 74, there was about 4.5 billion people in the world, give or take. Now there's twice the population. So, it is getting used to. I believe that my generation is almost the last one where we were used to small town, even cities were smaller. So things are getting bigger. There's more population. It's not just your city that you're in, but it's everywhere. So that's big. There's a heightened awareness. People are moving around faster. They don't know what's going on with themselves. They don't know what's happening. And so what I find is when I'm moving about, that I feel like just being present, that my influence is expansive upon the people. I could just be out at a store out there, or I could be driving in traffic, knowing that I can hold the space. I'm an uplifter. I have that power of influence over the energies in the room, or in the atmosphere or immediate place that I'm residing in. I know that I do. But it's more than that, because we can work within the fifth dimensional consciousness, and we can then have effect over all of the planet and all of creation. This is big, and I haven't lost you at this point. Please send me questions, because I'm here for this. I can't just give a video and update and something like this and just go blah and have it all come out and you just understand all this stuff. It's big. So we've always walked between worlds. We've always walked between dimensions, 3D, 4D, 5D. But what's happening now is that the availability is so much more so because it's all about you and me and what we've been doing over the years. And we set the stage and we did the inner work, because that's the work. It's being authentic and moving authentically, expressing our soul through these words and with everybody that we encounter. Now, don't get me wrong, you have moods, you have an emotional guidance system telling you, okay, I want to go that way, or I don't want to go that way, I don't like that, I like that. So it's necessary. But the work is not to be influenced by the lower emotions. You don't need to do that. Is to raise yourself up and to stay in a level-headed manner into content and satisfied. And if you can get up to happy and joy, that's great. But to really don't be brought down and stay too long in those lower emotions. And it's amazing what happens, because you have momentum that builds up over the days and over the months. And even a year, you'll see passes by and you're so much different. I mean, I look back last year where I was, and it's much different now. After I wrote Soul Ship, it's like when you come into a realization, you come into the knowing, you're flying high for a while, and then you ground and integrate. And after that, I mean, I could write a sequel to Soul Ship. I could write so many books to it of where I'm at now, which I might do at some point. But we're moving so fast into this new energies, the new cycles in which we've never, ever, ever walked before. Humans are walking a path which has never been walked before, and I am honored to be here at this time to not only hold the space, to present the materials, not only that, but to hold the space and to see and to lighten people up, to see the smile on some person's face because I entered a room, or I have a smile on my face and I can uplift someone, because there's the global stage. The Shakespearean play has been canceled, basically. People are walking out of the auditorium, metaphorically, so it's really heightened. So everything looks like it's getting really worse. It's bad, really bad, but there's really good things happening at the same time. That's the shift. So there's nothing serious happening going on at any given moment, though it can seem to be, depending on where you're at individually with yourself. It can seem very crucial to take action. But again, when you're connected to that inner part of yourself, you'll know when to take action, when to not. You'll know when to speak, when not to speak. And that's why I stayed quiet for a while and I wasn't doing any videos or giving any messages, because I just didn't feel to do that. And it takes focus, it takes concentration to pay attention to how you're feeling, and not be influenced by the masses, not be influenced by what's happening out there in the world. It has very little to do with you. We have the influence of the news, the media. Just depends on what channel you're looking at. Now, I always advise people, don't pay attention to the news too much in this year into next year, and bring that out as far as you feel it is for you. You do you. You do you. You do what you feel. You do have the tools available so that when something really gets intense for you, to stop and get quiet, and to be able to have that space for yourself. So you're shutting off the noise, because you don't really need to be involved too much of that. The world is changing. The world is shifting in a way that really the individual doesn't really have much control over, nor should you have to. It's none of your business. And so you stay on your side. You stay on your side of, the fence, and make sure that you're feeling good. That's the key. Be gentle with yourself, being gentle with others. That's the power of the influence. When you're not feeling good, you're not feeling good. You have to be authentic for yourself. You have to make sure that you're okay. But again, you cannot not be okay. It's impossible. But when our emotions are taking over and we're giving too much of attention to the things that are happening outside of ourselves, that's when it feels like it's out of control. Okay? But we do have the tools available. Now, again, you've been following me for a while, or if you've read my books, or You've even had sessions with me. You know how I work. If you haven't, and you're interested in this, there is a technique that I use, and I go over Zoom conferencing as the medium to use, because I can speak to anybody around the world with that. And I was there before people got in there during the pandemic. I was in there a few years before that, and doing my thing. And so I've been doing this for like 10 years now, pretty much, and assisting people to travel into their kingdom within, to assist them to open up to their senses and open up their third eye so that they can see the multiverse and travel into different dimensions and travel to spaces and to explore and expand their knowing of who they are at the deepest level of their being. And it feels good because it gets you out of your body, it gets you out of your mind, it gets you out of the physical here, and it gives you kind of a break. It gives you a break so you can take a hiatus from the turmoil of the world and really take care of what matters the most, you. Okay? It feels good in the body. Your mind calms down. Your body, your systems come into balance. All disease is discomfort, dis-ease, not being at ease with the self. So it's not real. Just like healers, there's no such thing as healers. There's teachers and there's guides that can assist you into your own knowing. It's a remembering. It's gathering up all the members, all the aspects and facets of who you are at the deepest level of your being that makes up what we call the soul, the higher self. So, we're available for you. I'm here for you if you need to have that, if you're interested in doing any of that. But again, there's been people that have come to me, and you guys have just taken off. You've taken off into your own walk. And some people I don't hear from anymore, which is fine, because hey, we're all source. We're all one in the end. It's that unity consciousness, and really being expressions thereof. So by and by, I like to say, it's a by and by. I'll see you again. It's like when someone leaves their physical body, which a family friend or acquaintance who are, you're like, oh, I'll never see them again. The physical, again, that's okay, because their higher self will project another into this physical realm, have another experience. If it's not here in this particular physical environment, there will be another place that's physical, because that's what we're doing. It's just a grand awakening and an expansion and a knowing of who we really are and what this whole thing is all about. And humanity is about ready to experience this at an individual level, and that's why people are starting to get curious, and it's awesome. It really is. So just again, take a good deep breath when you need to take the deep breaths. Go deep. Spend 15, 20, half hour a day breathing. If you're not doing that, then showing appreciation the best that you can for anything that's going on, your food, your water, anything, the clothes. Washing your clothes, washing your body, to every little thing that you have. Yeah, there's conditional stuff, but hey, love that you have for someone, yourself first and others. Love and a smile from a stranger, a friend, or someone you passed by, or being appreciative of the light that changed for you when you got to it. I'm just giving just random examples, but appreciation goes a long way. And I feel like you just don't have it to sit yourself down too much to breathe, which I do recommend, because it does calm the body down and it helps to balance the systems. But to sit in appreciation is a really good thing to do. So again, I would love to hear from you. Follow the details in the description of my website. Contact me through the contact form. Send me an email if you need to do that. I would love to hear from you guys. And thanks for listening. I really do appreciate you. I'll be back eventually here at some point. Don't know when, but yeah, all is well in all of creation. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you.